Hi YouTube, this is a response to Sean Connor's questions. He set a load of questions for DMs to sort of interview themselves. So here are my responses as a DM, sort of reminiscing on the past and looking to start up again in the near future, hopefully. Anyway, first question: how did you get into role-playing? Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, first edition, as a player back when I was about 10 years old. I then started running D&D box set for friends and had a huge collection of cardstock figures from all the modules that were available back then. After that I got the second ed D&D blue books and went on from there. Number 2, what are your favourite systems to DM? I enjoyed running Shadowrun the most, had some great fun with Shadowrun. I ran that with a variety of people from the town, mostly good friends, who still are good friends. I had some very long campaigns that ran for years at a time, which weren't bad for 14 to 16 year olds and all the other distractions going on. Anyway, number 3, describe your DM style. By the way, I've got all these written down on a notepad document so I remember them. Describe your DM style. I like to run freestyle. There have been many games where I didn't even bother to write a scenario. Instead I'd start with, right, what are your characters up to at the moment? They'd tell me. If I heard a response that immediately sparked off ideas in my head, I'd just run with it. I've had many Pegasus edition Star Trek games like that. Easy to come up with a Star Trek game when you're so geeked out on it though, as I was as a sort of late teenager, early 20s. Number 4, what is your best quality as a DM? I think this goes back to the last question I had. Maybe still do have the ability to make up things on the fly. For example, going back to Shadowrun, characters were chilling for a while at one of their apartments basically because we were gaming, but we're a little burnt out as a group. I then thought, so you guys are just chilling out watching sports on the TV. You then hear the sound of glass shattering behind you and the TV explodes where something has hit it dead centre of the screen. Of course they all jumped up out of their skins, scared to death. One of them I think even grabbed a pillow and hid behind it. Stupid. This big burly Shadowrunner. This was the introduction of a recurring sniper stroke hitman NPC that I just thought up on the fly then and there just to get things interesting. They certainly did get interesting after that though, and just don't ask our mate Russ about all the motorcycles that the NPC blew up. They bought, must have been about 5 or 6 of them. Stupid. What makes a great DM? Number 5. Right. I think one that can keep the players involved and interested in the gaming session. I've seen DMs that can rouse players out of a 2-day hangover at Conception, which is a convention runs in Christchurch, usually in February, early February, so you know, winter, beer, not good Saturday night gaming. Albeit just to say I can cast Fireball, then doze off again. One of them is a man who is in hospital right now actually, and I wish him all the best. John Amos. Apparently he's recovering, so good luck to you, John. He's one of the better DMs I've played with. Not many GMs will agree to run a game of 7th Sea after reading it the previous night for a bunch of drunken burnouts and keep us entertained for the whole session. That's amazing. Right, number 6. Why do you DM? First of all, I don't make a great player. I've played with some great players and I'm not one of them. I guess this is why I DM. That, and I've just always been the DM. It's going back to the black box D&D, board game sort of RPG. It's also all about variety for me. Back when I was running Shadowrun 2nd ed, I also ran Earthdawn for a while, which is Shadowrun in fantasy setting really. That's certainly why I ran it. All the upgrades and optical implants and stuff, but it's all magical rather than technological. Then D20 hit the scene and it was all about D&D 3rd ed, Spycraft, Star Wars, Conan. Had some good games of all of those. Star Wars ran as a sort of a forum based you know, RPG. I am always tempted by new things too, so when I hear that something's come out, I try and get at it straight away. For example, Pathfinder is the next new thing to me, as I hear D&D 4th edition isn't so great. An even better example is Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 3rd edition, that I've seen Sean and many others sort of give glorious reviews of, and I'm also looking at that, but you know, count the pennies. As a DM, I can have free reign at the rules and modules, and also write for them as well, so another advantage for, in my mind, over being a player. Number 7, what would your players say about you? I've had some great responses from the past, to be honest. Still some things we talk about to this day when the subject comes up, like when a troll rigger decided to enter LAX airport, fully tooled up, even after several friendly warnings. He soon found out that a taser to the balls hurts like hell. It's even worse when there's about 10 security guards with tasers. He didn't like that, but you know, we tried to warn him. Number 8, what things irritate you as a DM about yourself or about the hobby? Irritations about the hobby are uninterested players. I've not had many myself, but I've had people literally sit down at a table and do nothing the whole session. When asked, they just say, oh, I do whatever X is doing. About myself as a DM, that I didn't do more to keep some of my old groups going. I've always kept an eye on what's happening with role-playing, but I've been removed from the hobby, and I really do love being involved with it, as I'm finding out by watching all your guys' videos. Some of them are amazingly inspirational, and I thank you for that. 9, what makes a great player? I'll answer this as it's not so much a player but a group of players. I like it when players work together. I also like it when they work against each other, even more fun. We did Transylvania Chronicles and Vampire the Masquerade, where I used to live you know, a few years back, and I played from book 1 through to 3 before I moved away again. Shame really, I found out not long ago actually that they finished it and some awesome stuff happened. Character interaction is so key in role-playing. I've had no choice but to make tea and serve biscuits for a group of players sometimes that were planning the heist of the century or investigating this week's big bad evil guy, and I had to take him down. That's awesome to me. 10. What piece of advice would you give a DM? Chill out, don't panic, don't rush to get a session planned. If it doesn't look like you're gonna get it done before the game, let the players know and offer to do something else instead. Maybe a one shot that won't take too long to read and run. It's pretty easy to derail an adventure as a DM, of course. Once derailed, you may get an opportunity for improvisation DMing, something I really like, as I told you before. Or you could just have a recap session where the players can get things clear in their mind and you could see how things are going in general, and where the players might want to take their characters in the future. It is best to let the players know in advance though, as it's only fair. Right, I think that's gone on long enough. Hope this is recorded, and I'll catch you later.